Hello friends, welcome to another exciting Pokemon battle. If I sound a little different, it's because I have a brand new headset and also brand new monitors, so hopefully the resolution looks exactly the same, but if it's messed up in any way, let me know and I can always play with it. I was in the process of training for our Pokemon League rematch. I'm not there quite yet, because their Pokemon I think start at level 71 and mine are still 66, 67, sort of in that range. But I realized there actually is one trainer we can face before the Pokemon League, and that is Cheren. So let's go ahead and have our final rematch against our rival, Cheren. Goddard, it's difficult, isn't it? When you confront yourself, you have to notice things about yourself that aren't too flattering. Of course, and no one can get away from themselves. Who is this? Oh, one of the Elite Four guys. Marshall? My mentor told me you were here, so I came to see. Listen, even if you lose in battle, if you surpass what you've done before, you have bested yourself. Take the opportunity of a battle to look at your opponent, look at the Pokemon involved, and look at yourself. Are those Alder's words? Maybe, but I'm borrowing them. What I want are battles with trainers who believe in themselves like that. When I mix it up with a trainer like that, both my Pokemon and I get even stronger. Well then, I'll be waiting for your challenge in the Pokemon League. And if I recall correctly, both of us have actually beaten him before, but of course he will be much tougher the next time around. I guess that's that. Okay, Goddard, accept this Pokemon battle. Gladly, Cheren. One last time. It's funny too, these headsets, or this headset is, it's hard to hear myself. I guess it's a little bit better of a headset. But it's weird not being able to hear myself talk as much as I previously could, so hopefully I don't sound weird to you guys. I decided to lead with Delta, who is now fully evolved, as you can see. As a Zangara, I figured I didn't want to train them up as a Dragonair and Rhyhorn all the way to level 71, so I figured I would evolve those two off-screen. So we do have Superpower, which I will use against Leapars, since it should be super effective. And this move I actually had to trade Delta over to either White 2 or Black 2, because there are some really cool move tutors in that game, and one of them can teach you Superpower. Superpower is a 120 base power fighting attack, and it's sort of like close combat, except instead of lowering your defense and special defense, it lowers your attack and defense. So it's a little bit worse in my opinion, but a lot of Pokemon that can't learn close combat can at least learn Superpower, so it's a very good coverage move. Alright, and Samurott already his best one. Very interesting. So I'm debating between Dragon Rush or Fly. Dragon Rush would do more damage, but Fly is more accurate. Let's go for Dragon Rush. Oh, and it avoided it. I was thinking if we went for the Dragon Rush, we might get the flinch chance as well, but we're also holding the Dragon Fang, which increases Dragon Rush's power, but not if it misses. Alright, Delta, well, you did a good job taking out the Leopard, and now it is 5v5. Alright, so we don't have a Grass or Electric type, but we do have 3 Pokemon that know Grass or Electric moves. Let's bring in Ariane, because Bullet Seed should do a lot of damage to this Samurott. Now, one thing I don't have yet is the flinching item, the King's Rock, which is actually really hard to get in Gen 5. So I'm going to try to get that before we do our next Pokemon League challenge, because when Ariane is holding that, when she hits them 5 times, there's a 41% chance of them flinching. So right now she's just holding the Silk Scarf. Will she survive a Hydro Pump? That's a lot of damage from a very powerful Pokemon, and no, she did not. But did a lot of damage, so proud of her anyway. Now the good news is, he has already used his Dark type, so Atlas or Zenit should both be pretty safe to come in here. Trying to think if there's one reason to use one over the other. I don't think so, so let's bring in Zenit. A Thunderbolt should be able to finish off Samurott no problem, and then it'll be 4v4. I know my strengths and weaknesses now. Sorry, I will also know yours. I think that's what he said, something like that at least. Alright, so Samurott is his best for a reason. It did a very good job there against both Delta and Ariane. But once again, we are all tied up. And Gigalith, okay. Should be a nice even matchup here. I wonder if he's trying to use Earthquake. Maybe he doesn't know that we have Levitate, which is our ability that makes us immune to ground moves. So, do I go for Shadow Ball or do I go for Focus Blast? Focus Blast is super effective. I'm going to use Shadow Ball. The reason being, I think it has the ability Sturdy, so even if Focus Blast hits, I don't think it'll be a one-hit knockout. So might as well use Shadow Ball, which is much more accurate. Alright, Stealth Rock is very good in competitive battling, but not so great in-game battles since there's a lot less switching. You probably should have used like Stone Edge or Rock Polish, something along those lines. There we go. Yeah, Levitate is an amazing ability for Gengar. There's a reason they changed it in later generations. It makes him just a little bit too powerful. And a Haxorus! Speaking of too powerful, Haxorus is definitely a big threat. Being a dragon type, it should take neutral damage from Sludge Bomb. And Sludge Bomb has 90 base power, unlike Shadow Ball, which is 80 base power. Plus we are holding the Poison Barb, so it will do even more damage. And we got lucky there and got the poison, so that's pretty cool. Oh, a Dragon Gem. So that's like a one-time boost. So instead of, I think, boosting it by 20%, like our hold items do, that boosts it by, I think, 50%, but it does get consumed. All right, so interesting here. None of our Pokemon really want to take an Outrage, and Gara can probably take it best. But the question is... Alright, I want to see what our speed looks like. I think Alakazam would be faster than Haxorus. I know Haxorus is fairly fast, but I think its base speed is like in the 90s, like 97 maybe? Whereas Alakazam's I think is like 130. Now Vulcan has a speed boosting nature. So 174, Alakazam is, what was it? 195. So Alakazam is fastest. But you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and use this as a setup opportunity for Angara, because I'm pretty sure we can survive one Outrage just because we have a very high defense stat and he no longer has his Dragon Gem. Took a little bit of damage from Stealth Rock, but we do resist it being ground type. And this gives me a chance to use Rock Polish and then be faster. Assuming I don't target the Outrage, it will be a lot of damage, but we have a very high defense stat, so I'm not too worried. Yeah, it's not too bad. Now he's poisoned and confused. If Cheren has a full restore, now would be a good time to use it. But even so, I'll be able to attack him twice with Earthquake, so I'm not too worried. Now besides the King's Rock for Ariane, all of our held items are going to be our final held items. Pretty much just the type boosting held items, since they're kind of a good safe bet. Angara here has a Saw Stand, for example. And no full restore, so down goes Haxorus. Very cool dragon type. I definitely want to train one in a future Let's Play. So if you want to see a Haxorus a little more often, definitely subscribe and stay tuned. Alright, and Simi's here. That's good. He didn't have Simi's Sage. I was thinking he might, but even so I'd be faster. But this is really good because now my Earthquake will be super effective. This should be a one-hit knockout. It probably has like Focus Blast or something. These Simi Pokemon have pretty good move pools, but they are very weak defensively. But yeah, even though our items are almost done, there are two more moves I want to teach our team. I want Delta, our Dragonite, to learn Outrage, which I think will be soon. It's not over yet. My Pokemon are with me. I think this is his last one. Ironically, the first one that he used to use in battles. So as long as Stone Edge hits, this should be a knockout. And even if it's not, he can't do too much to Angara. So I want to teach Delta Outrage, my favorite move. And I also want to teach Angara Mega Horn, although Angara does not learn Mega Horn, unfortunately, to level 77. So maybe for like our very last battle, we'll teach her Mega Horn. Thank you, I saw what was missing in me. But until then, Hammer Armor is a pretty good filler. Fighting moves are always good support moves for the type coverage they give. I'll keep battling many trainers and Pokemon like this, and if I can learn what kind of person I am, it will open up my path. I'm sure this path will lead me to become the person I'm meant to be. Pokemon will always be with you and me as we go down our own paths. Our important friends, Pokemon. Alright, I guess that's it. Well, speaking of friends, thank you, my friends, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, we still have our Pokemon League rematch, and then I think 3 more trainers to fight after this. One of them is actually Bianca, who unfortunately you can't fight until you defeat the Pokemon League twice, which is really weird because I think her levels are actually lower than Cheren's even, but we'll still do it just for fun. So definitely stay tuned for those. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon.